So this is a more vulnerable video. I really don't like being vulnerable on social media because not a lot of people treat me as though I'm a human being with emotions. So people's visceral reactions to people laying themselves bare in transparency and authenticity trigger something in people, and I just don't like that. But I think I'm destined for greater things, so I need to be more authentic and more vulnerable more often. I will say that I don't need any advice. I know what I need to do to get where I need to go. This is just me sharing some of my thoughts from this year. If you've noticed, I have not posted a video this year. Sometimes it's hard to notice because I haven't been the most consistent in the past couple years. But in my lack of desire to post to my YouTube channel, I've been trying to figure out where does my lack of motivation come from. Particularly at the end of last year, I hit a huge milestone of interviewing 100 Black animation professionals. So you would think that would cause some momentum, but it actually brought my content creation to a screeching halt. And so even in trying to reach out to therapists to try to figure out things, that didn't go well because, you have to go shopping for therapists. But honestly, before I contacted the second therapist, I kind of figured out what my issue was. And pretty much the entire time that I've had this YouTube channel, and how I navigate in life is that I am self-motivated. I don't really rely on other people's motivation or commentary to do what I feel like I need to do or what I want to do or what is my purpose. But after reaching the milestone of interviewing 100 Black animation professionals, I think subconsciously I thought about how I've been running this YouTube channel for about 7 years and it's still not monetized. I love all my subscribers. I have over 3,000 subscribers, but there's just some things around that where I know in different circumstances, even with the content I create in its current format, I would be more successful. I know that I create long form content, and I've had people talk to me about that over the years, but I feel like my purpose is to highlight people as human beings, as their full selves, and that comes in interviewing them as long as the interview takes. After reaching my milestone, I did want to take January and possibly even February would have been the perfect time, with it being Black History Month, to chop up a lot of my content into more short form content, more clips to put on different social media platforms. But I really just was not feeling it. Like, I just couldn't bring myself to do anything around the BlkWmnAnimator YouTube channel. Also, I know that a lot of people think that BlkWmnAnimator started as a YouTube channel, but actually I've had the moniker BlkWmnAnimator for about 17 years. I started around 2008 when I graduated from college. BlkWmnAnimator actually started in the community. I did classes, workshops, and presentations for kids to encourage them to get into the animation industry, because I didn't find animation as a career until my senior year of high school. So I wanted to give that encouragement to other people. But when I realized living in New Orleans, a lot of people either, stay in New Orleans or leave and come back, I really wanted to take my platform online to give people an opportunity who would be willing to, at the time, move to LA, because that was what was the standard back then when I started my YouTube channel. I wanted to not set the people up in Louisiana for failure if they weren't going to leave. And so I wanted to give the information that I had to the masses. One comment that I've gotten by some people is that they don't see the vision, or they saw that I was getting to my vision when I started interviewing. But to the people who are maybe paying the most attention, my vision has been the same since I was talking to the camera, and even when I started interviewing animation professionals. To be honest, the interviews came from me having a horrible computer and not being able to edit without putting like a black screen on After Effects. So I needed to come up with content that didn't require much editing. And that's where the interviews came from. I've emailed over 200 people. The only reason it hasn't been more is because I'm afraid to be spammy. And then Gmail turns my emails into spam and go into people's junk, which actually has already happened. So I have had to switch emails during this process of interviewing people. I've had, a lot of people respond because I have over 130 interviews on this channel. So that's like, 60% success rate, which is higher than I thought. It just takes a lot out of a person to be doing a YouTube channel all by themselves. I do all the research. I do the scheduling. I interview. I edit. As a person who is so self-motivated, I just think my self-motivation came to a point where it just wasn't sustaining me. And not that I now need this external validation. I just needed to get a second win to be able to continue on with what my purpose is, because I think for my personality of like being able to do things just because I want to do them, I feel like that's very powerful. But sometimes there is still that the messaging that creeps in that you're not enough and that you're not doing enough. I saw this quote. It said, they don't appreciate what you're doing for them because you're not the person they want it from. I've understood that since the beginning of my YouTube channel. I am not the person that people want to hear this information from. I'm not the person that they want to watch interview people, because I feel like with all of the information that is available on my YouTube channel, if I had Disney, Nickelodeon, Pixar, or some notable company behind my name, then people would think that I had something to say. But I've always had something to say, and it's always been something good to say. I know that if I was a Black man, that I would have more subscribers and more supporters. I know that if I was a white woman, I would have more subscribers and more supporters. I know if I was a white man, I would have more subscribers and more supporters. And I've known that since I started my YouTube channel. I've known that as a Black woman, I would not get as much support as other people, but I continued giving of myself to my YouTube channel and to the world. I understand that different demographics of people, whether they have the right title or the right skin color or gender, they are more respected. This is something that I know that I have to deal with, and I've been able to persevere. It's just, sometimes you get tired of having to trudge uphill, but I still got up every week, got up every year, and gave something to the people. And I believe in giving the meat. I don't believe in giving like the whipped cream on top. I think it's very important to give people sustenance and something that is deep and important. I don't like giving fluff, and so I've worked very hard to be able to give very personal interviews. I've had people that I have interviewed that have told me that I made them feel comfortable and at ease, and I definitely want to continue on with that. I am getting my second win, so I do hope to start producing content soon. Just something in addition, when you are in this community, whether it's the animation community or the Black community, it's just hard to see you go to a Black artist's, a Black male artist's social media page, and he doesn't even post anything that has to do with his artwork. He just posts himself, and there are other Black men in his comment section hyping him up, and I love that for them. But that doesn't happen to a lot of Black female artists or Black female, animation professionals. Me as a Black animation journalist in this capacity, there aren't a lot of people hyping me up. Because of my personality, I feel like people think I don't need to be hyped up. Oftentimes that is the truth, but sometimes it just feels good for people to acknowledge that you're doing well. And people don't really do that. A lot of people in my industry feel like my content is not for them. A lot of people tell me that they support me, but the numbers are not showing that people are supporting me as much as they say they are. The numbers of how long people watch my videos is not saying that they support me as much as they say they are. So a lot of the support that I get sometimes is a facade, and it's not real and actual. And I know that. I know sometimes when people are lying to me, and I can push through that. But again, this year it just kind of came to a head, and I just couldn't push through it anymore. And I just needed to take my rest and just get ready for whatever is destined for me, whatever great is destined for me. And I will start creating content again in various ways. And I am trying to give this vulnerable message because I feel like I have this interesting relationship with invisibility. Sometimes I want to be seen and sometimes I don't want to be seen. But if I want to be bigger, I can't worry about what people are going to say. I can't worry about how people are going to react. I actually have to practice getting the reaction of people, particularly when I'm vulnerable, particularly when people don't treat me as a human being with emotions. They don't care how what they say to me is going to affect me. I have to practice that because I'm making my world smaller by trying to avoid all of the reactions, all of the being seen, all of the worrying about people not liking me for who I am, how I present. I experience that in real life a lot. And so it is scary. It is intimidating, but I have grown a lot since I was in high school. I am not the same person now that I was then. And I just want to continue to grow and continue to be better and just experiencing more things that I never thought I would as a 16-year-old child who barely spoke. It is really hard doing all this work for the right reasons and still feeling very small. I have asked people for help and they have let me down. I have been offered help from random strangers. They have let me down. And so I just know at the end of the day, I have to do it myself. I don't want to be like that. I do love to exist in community. But a lot of people just have not proven themselves. Simply because of my personality, I come across as a real buttoned up person. So when I ask for help, people don't think I need help. At the end of the day, this is not actually a woe is me type of video. I understand my impact. I understand my reputation, even with the amount of subscribers I have. It is a huge accomplishment to be able to get above 3,000 subscribers, particularly as a person who creates long form content. I do not snuff that. I thank my subscribers that have been there since the beginning, the ones who leave a comment on every video, the ones who hit me up in the inbox on Instagram. I love you for your support. I am not forgetting you while I am shooting this video. You are very important to me. But yeah, I just need to get my second wind. And I appreciate you for listening. If you've listened to this entire video, I appreciate all the people who have come in front of me to allow me to interview them. I appreciate everyone who has shared my videos, whether it's on Instagram, TikTok, on YouTube. I appreciate everybody who's left a comment, and I just want to keep it pushing. I just was trying to figure out what was wrong because, I reached a huge milestone and I just didn't understand why I didn't want to do anything anymore. I figured it out, and so I look forward to see you on the YouTubes. Thank you for listening.